and now you're leading off. And so, usually when you're coming up to the plate, you don't want to show all that much emotion, but they realize the importance of today's game. They've got to have it today.
Well, he's the man who has vowed that Oakland will not be celebrating on this field at the end of the day. Mientkiewicz, a college star at Florida State, a U.S. Olympic gold medalist in Sydney 2 years ago. And before that, he went to Miami's Westminster Christian High School. He lived about 3 blocks from the school, so all of his teammates used to hang out at Doug's house, including a young Alex Rodriguez, one of his teammates. And he says that about 2/3 of A-Rod's wardrobe in high school was stuff from Doug's closet. And he said, I was always giving him lunch money. Can you imagine that now? I was giving A-Rod money. But they go back a long way. 154 in the division series, trying to bring that up here. He is 0 for 1.
The best thing I liked about when he won that Olympic gold medal, Dave, as you mentioned, he hit .414 and he had 2 game-winning homers during that. But you know what his comment was? He says, nobody's going to remember what I hit. They remember that we won.
Swing and a miss. An all-out cut. You see Mientkiewicz, like another outstanding defensive first baseman, Mark Grace. He goes without the batting gloves. The bare-fisted look.
That's a little easier to do when you have a controlled climate.
Yeah.
Gracie's out there sometimes in April at Wrigley when he's got a controlled climate now, though.
The pitch up the middle and a base hit. And he's heading towards second. He took a big turn now back to first base. Mientkiewicz putting pressure on Long there in center field. Well, he made the great defensive play, and now he leads off the 4th with a single. And the last couple of innings, Hudson is starting to get touched up. Kadire is 0 for 1. He's lined out to center.
That's another one of those situations, Tony, where statistics don't tell the whole story. Mientkiewicz on the year, 260, just 10 home runs, 64 RBIs. For a first baseman, you got to make a change, right? No. Big hits, big plays, a lot of wins.
Kadire misses again on the cut, and he's in the hole 0-2. Just 49 regular season games for Kadire after they called him up from the minor leagues.
He's another one of those guys, Dave, that the Minnesota Twins, their general manager Terry Ryan, they just keep coming up with. They have done so much with guys that signed their first contracts with the Twins.
The roster loaded with homegrown talent. That's how they've gotten this far. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Boy, Hudson dispensed with him in quick fashion. So the hot hitting catcher, A.J. Przinsky, will step in now with a runner on and 1 out. He singled in the 3rd, so he is 6 for 10 in this division series.
There's another guy that signed his first professional contract with the Twins. Torrey Hunter, Radke, Jock Jones, even their closer, Eddie Gallardo. What a job they have done from within.
I think that's the old-fashioned way.
That was, to me, always the key to success with Tom Kelly, the manager here for many, many years before Gardenhire took over. There were 3 things. First of all, you had to hustle.
Right.
If you didn't hustle for him, you didn't play.
That's exactly right.
You had to pitch, which means you had to throw strikes. He didn't care about strikeouts or whatever. Throw a strike. And you had to play defense. And you know what? They're reaping what Tom Kelly left here right now.
I agree. I just think that more clubs have gotten away from building their organization from within, going out, drafting the players, teaching them how to play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Inside for ball, and Ronnie Gardenhire in his office before the game. But a funny story yesterday, he said Tom Kelly was in the clubhouse and the advanced scout came up to him and said, hey, you got any words of advice for Gardenhire? And Kelly said, he's going to game 3. He's got him in game 3. He doesn't need any help from anybody. He's doing just fine.
But Gardenhire said that, I said, you talked to Tom during the season? Yeah, he'd call me from time to time. He said, always to tell me something I did wrong.
Mientkiewicz at first base and a toss over. And he says Kelly is always very respectful. The first thing he'll say, call up every once in a while, and he'll say, this is just a suggestion. This is just a thought. and that's how they begin the conversation. But why not rely on someone like Tom Kelly, who many believe was the best manager in the game when he managed the team?
I mean, you know, you remember this club, this same group of guys, he used to bring them out here after games and make them practice and learn how to do things the right way, and it's really paid off.
Brzezinski tried to lift and knock that one out of the ballpark. He missed it 1-2.
I thought Brzezinski was really one of the keys to that third inning. You know, working the count like he did, along with, even though Rivas made it out, it took a lot of pitches to get that done, and eventually Ortiz was able to hit that double to tie the ball game up. On the same hand, the long at bats in the top of the third for the A's by Durham and Hatteberg set up that homer by Tejada.
Right. And that's really the name of the game that they're playing right now. It's kind of like two teams driving down the field but can't score. They'd have to punt. Right now they're battling for position because sooner or later both of these teams are going to have to get to the bullpen.
Tied at 2 in the fourth. Brzezinski gets a piece of it. So he is still swinging. Luis Rivas due to hit next unless Brzezinski hits into a double play.
Tom Kelly saying last year when he had Paul Molitor on his staff along with Jerry White, two of the best base runners ever. He said, you know what, we implemented a drill. Take a look at Minkiewicz here. Watch what happened. He sees the ball down. Look at that little crow hop he took. Nobody takes the extra base on balls in the dirt any better than this team does. Why? Because they practice it.
Over the shoe tops for a ball, and now it's 2-2. I'll tell you what, Hudson has certainly labored the last couple of innings far more than he did in the first 2 innings. Well, he started the contest by getting the Twins 1-2-3 in the first inning. Gave up a hit in the second, but nothing came of that. But in the third inning, he had to work his way through 7 hitters. He gave up 2 runs, 3 hits. And now this is turning into a long inning for him. And it's just the third batter in. Great eye by Brzezinski, and it's a full count.
And the pitch count continues to go up.
He has thrown as many pitches only into the 4th inning of this one as he did in all of game 1.
And don't forget, that was just 3 days ago. This is the first time all year he's pitched on less than his normal rest.
And so let's see if Juan Gardenhire decides to try to get some action going here if he lets the runner go 3-2.
You have to.
He's running. Foul away down the line. Stoked by Brzezinski. And with Minkiewicz on the move. But he hit it foul.
Well, the only thing that can hurt you, to me, when you're going to send the runner with a 3-2 count is that line drive right at somebody. And that almost happened there. Almost happened to be a double down that line.
Tim Hudson doesn't want to see much more of this hitter today. Brzezinski in his 2 at-bats has seen 14 pitches.
He's had 2 back-to-back really good at-bats here. He's given his teammates plenty of pitches to see.
The 3-2, the runner goes, and it's ball 4. The Twins are building something in the 4th inning off of Hudson. Hudson struck out this man the first time they met. That's foul tip for strike 1. He tried to check, but he got a piece of it. Rivas, 2 out of 9 in the division series. The Twins trying to get a lead.
You can tell how anxious he is because even when he takes a pitch, you know, this last pitch he saw, he didn't want to swing at that pitch, but he foul tipped it.
Well, he struck out yesterday in his first at bat, hit into a double play in his second. He popped up to the pitcher in his 3rd at bat. Pinch hit for in his 4th at bat, struck out here again in his first at bat today.
The 0-1 pitch, he buried it into the dirt. 1-1, 2 on. The Twins facing elimination. They have to win, but they have not led since the end of the first game, which they went on to win 7-5. Lost yesterday 6-3. Never had the lead in that one. Miguel Tejada's 2-run homer got Oakland in front this afternoon here in game 4. Minnesota has tied it. Ground ball to short. Tejada goes to 3rd and he throws it away. Here comes Minkiewicz in to score. it skipped into the dugout from here. And if that's the case, and Gardenhire wants to know, why isn't Brzezinski being allowed to score?
I think what he's saying is that by the time this ball went in the dugout, Brzezinski hadn't gotten to second base. That's the only argument I can see.
Well, the Twins take the lead. The error by Tejada. Second and third, one out, and the batter, Jock Jones. Finally, Minnesota has a lead, although they think it ought to be 2 runs.
That's the second time this afternoon that a ball has gotten away from Tejada on the throw. We remember when he overthrew Hudson at first base on what should have been a double play.
Jones in the game has struck out, and he has doubled. Check swing, kicked off by Hernandez. Here comes the run, trying to score. Brzezinski will. On a wild pitch, another run for the Twins. They lead it 4-2.
Nobody does it better. Last year in spring training, Tom Kelly implemented in spring training a workout just designed for everybody to learn that. Take that extra base, and because of that in spring training last year, again this year, they pick up a big run and now have a 2-run lead. There it is. Look at him down there. Look at that. He's looking for it. Now I got to go. You got to pick up the baseball. They want to take that extra base, and they're not afraid to take a chance, Tony.
And that was excellent. He was walking down the line. You land on your right foot. You see that ball get away. You push off. You go to the plate.
So the A's have gotten sloppy. An error and a wild pitch in the inning. The Twins up. Oakland's infield is in. Rivas at third base. And that one hit him. Jones gets thrilled by the pitch, and he will take his base. And now Hudson seems to be coming a bit unglued. Here's Christian Guzman. He has grounded out twice, but the last time he drove in a run with a chopper to short. First and third, 1 down, and 2 runs in for Minnesota. And the only hit in the inning was Doug Mankiewicz's single.
Yeah, I agree with Rick. I think Brzezinski's AB, seeing as many pitches as he did, has really set up this whole inning right here.
Yeah, and there have been a number of 7 and 8 pitch at bats. There have been 3 or 4 of them by the Oakland hitters, and in particular, down low in the order, 6 through 9.
Yeah, you know, Hudson's already in the 80s now with his pitch count, and we're only in the bottom of the 4th inning. It isn't like we're in the bottom of the 6th or 7th.
Guzman, a switch hitter, takes a strike, and that's 86 pitches for Hudson.
As you can see, from the 3rd inning on, his pitch count has really started to explode. And so now Ted Lilly's up in the bullpen, and he's probably going to see some action today because they're not going to let Hudson just go out and throw more than 100 pitches.
Yeah, not on 3 days rest.
3 days rest, exactly.
Jones and Rivas leading. He flirted with a bunt. Guzman pulled it back in time. 1-1.
I think here's another spot where Guzman can just hit a ball on the ground. Not many people can, but he's going to have to hit it hard on one hop to turn a double play with his speed. You don't turn the double play, you pick up another run.
And I'll tell you, a good play for him because of his ability to bunt is just a simple drag bunt to the second baseman.
A bluff again by Hudson, and the runners get back.
I think that's all by design. I think Art Howe has sent in both of those pickoff throws. We know that Hudson will do it a lot on his own, but he's trying to give Lilly even more time to get ready if Minnesota's able to do more damage.
The Twins looking to tie the series at 2-2 and force a game 5. And he was trying to bring it with him, Tony Gwynn. He was trying to drag it. But that time flipped it foul, but he had bunt on his mind.
And it's a good play because if you can get it down, the run's going to score. The runner at first is going to advance to second. You're going to do your job and knock the run in and give the guy behind you a chance to drive in another one.
The Twins looking for the big extra base hit. They finally have a lead. Their first since game 1. A couple of more runs would be huge. Bloop foul. Guzman not bunting that time, and they count 1-2.
Hudson paying a lot of attention to Jock Jones, but Tony, I'd be really surprised if he took off here. If you were to get thrown out, now there's 2 outs, you get Guzman out. The big boys don't come to the plate. I think you got to stay put there and just hope that Guzman doesn't hit into a double play.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I just think he wants to, if he can do something to have him take his mind off of Guzman at the plate. He's going to bounce around a little bit over there, but we're going to put some faith in Guzman that he can put the ball in play.
Hudson comes homeward. Tap to Hatterberg. He's coming home. And now Rivas scores. He got around him. Bobbled at the plate by Hernandez on the throw by Hatterberg. It is 5-2. They've committed 2 errors. There's been a hit batsman and a wild pitch. Only 1 hit in this frame. Swing and a miss by Koski. Runners at first and second, and just the 1 out. And only 1 ball has left the infield in this inning, but Minnesota has scored 3 times.
The Twins were looking for a break, for an opportunity, put some runs on the board, and they've got it this inning. And now they got a chance to add on, and they really need to.
Wide to Koski. He is 0 for 1 with the walk. It is game 4 of the division series. The Oakland A's and the Minnesota Twins from the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oakland up 2-1, but the Twins, capitalizing on a lot of mistakes by the A's here in the 4th, have taken a 3-run lead in a bid to stave off elimination. Fouled off to the left and out of play.
I really do, Tony. I agree with you there. I think it's big that they put some more runs on the board here. You got a guy that's normally a starting pitcher on the mound. You got one of the aces for the Oakland A's out of the ball game already here in the 4th inning. The crowd is still on their feet. You don't want to let this thing settle down because of the firepower Oakland had.
And this is where they took advantage of the A's in game 1 when Lilly came in. They had left-handed hitters hitting, and they got some base hits.
Koski lines it up the middle out of the reach of Ellis. 1 run in. Guzman heading into 3rd. He pulls up there. It is 6-2.
Just good hitting by Corey Koski.
Ortiz 2 for 2. He doubled in a run in his last at bat. The lefty misses wide.
How about the 4th inning for Doug Mankiewicz? He's my MVP. Oakland was going to take the lead without his defense. He got what seemed like just a meaningless little single to start this inning. Huh? Meaningless meant 4 or more.
A strike at the knees on Ortiz. Torrey Hunter will bat next, and then if the inning is still alive, Mankiewicz, who started the frame with that seemingly meaningless base hit, which meant a lot as it turned out, would bat again in this 4th inning. 1st and 3rd, 1 gone, and a swing and a miss by Ortiz.
You know, the baseball world doesn't know some of the guys that we have mentioned, the Eric Miltons and the Eddie Guardados, but tell you what, they know Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
First Twin voted to the All-Star game since 1995. That was Kirby Puckett then. And then when he went over the wall and brought that homer, or what seemed to be a homer off Barry Bonds' bat back, they know him.
Well, I know Barry knew him before that, but that's a fine way to reintroduce yourself. Steal a home run, and that produced, I thought, the top moment. Barry going over and picking him up. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that'll make the seats off to the right side. So a bust-out inning for the Minnesota Twins. This 4th inning started with Hudson on the mound, and the game tied at 2. Now the Twins have a comfortable lead. They may not be done building that lead, and it started with Mankiewicz, the man in the on-deck circle, with his single. He's 1 for 2, and has made a wonderful defensive play, which also saved the run. His 1-2 pitch in tight.
You know, Tony, a couple innings ago, you mentioned how quiet the hitter was, and I'm watching that on every hitter now. And I'm seeing Torrey Hunter just, he just bounced. It looked like a little bit more tension there than what he needs.
It's like he's squeezing that handle to turn it into sawdust when he's standing there holding it. And now that they've gotten the lead, you would expect them to relax a little bit.
That one skips away from Hernandez. Here comes the run. Another one in. That's all the way up the third base line. And Koski is into third. 7-2 Minnesota.
I think they're going to send Koski back to second. Because really, it's a good play by Ramon Hernandez. He let that ball go into the dugout. If it goes in the dugout, you only get one base.
Right, it did roll into the dugout. And so Koski sent back to second, but Guzman getting some refreshment in the dugout. Swinging a shot out to left center field by Hunter. That's going to bring in another run. Koski can score. Long falls down, and Hunter races to second. Another run in. 8-2 Minnesota. And the Twins have batted around. Here's Minkiewicz. A disastrous inning for the Oakland A's. 2 errors, 2 wild pitches, 1 hit batsman, and it all comes unraveled. 6 runs, all unearned. And the Twins leading by a half dozen. Loop shot, that'll find a home. An RBI single. Hunter scores. 9-2 Minnesota.
Dave, Tony, he said it wasn't going to end here, and he's having a lot to do with that being Doug Minkiewicz.
9-2 the Twins, and indeed Doug Minkiewicz vowed before the game. He said, we will not let them celebrate on our field. We are going to make them go back to Oakland.
Well, think about it now. They got the lead, but Minkiewicz is still bouncing off the bag like he was at the start of this inning. Looking for a ball in the dirt. Any kind of bad hop, he's going to take off and go to second. It's a real credit, really, for them to continue to play the game the way they played it all year long. They haven't been intimidated at all. They just kind of settled in and started to play their style of game.
Godiah with a swing and a fly to left field. David Justice beneath it. That ends a resounding inning for the Minnesota Twins. Facing elimination. They blow the game open in the 4th inning in the Metrodome.